Hi guys, it's me, Mr. Dan1268, otherwise known as the Dan, and today we're going to go ahead and continue on consoles I recommend to go out and collect for. So the next console that I recommend is to go out and collect for the Xbox 360. Why do I recommend that? You guys will find that out in the video, and also I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of games that I recommend, and the two hardware console revisions that I have. There is a third one, but one of them is the one I recommend. Anyway, so let's go ahead and go over a stack of games that I recommend you guys go out and grab. It's a really good console to go out and collect for. The games are so much fun. The graphics are good enough, and the hardware is cheap enough that you guys can start building these console collections up. So that's what these videos are about. Anyway, let's go ahead and go over some games. All right, so let's go over games. So I've got an absolute massive stack of Xbox 360 games here. This is probably the biggest stack that I'm showing you guys that I recommend to go out and grab. So let's go ahead. I'm going to try and not knock these all over. So the first game I recommend here is Army of Two, 40 Days. I believe there's two of these games, but these games are freaking awesome. They're great co-op games. I remember playing this with one of my high school friends, and we played this for hours on end. I believe it's a pretty early on Xbox 360 title too. So Army of Two, 40th Days. Such a good game. All right, next game that I recommend. I'm just putting them on my chair because I don't have a little room. The next game we have here is WWE 2K14. This one here is the best 2K game, I believe. One of the best ones, other than 2K19. This essentially is the last THQ WWE game that just got rebranded, and I got the Daniel Bryan reversed cover because you can change them in and out. But this one's really awesome because I believe this was like the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania. And I believe it had to defeat the streak. We had to beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania, which was super hard, unless you cheated like I did. All right, on to the next game. Next game we have here is WWE All Stars. This is so much better than that really crappy 2K Battlegrounds. This is super awesome. So it's essentially a wrestling arcade game where everything is overly elaborate. Like, the wrestlers are 10 times the size. They're on massive steroids, basically. Do all the big, powerful moves. This game here, great fun. All right, on to the next game. Next game we have here is Saints Row, the original Saints Row. Still love this to this day. I think there was a demo of this one or the second one. I can't remember. But I remember I rented this at, I believe it would have been... we had Blockbuster, and then we had Video Easy, probably Video Easy, and then I remember purchasing this game pretty cheap. All right, on to the next game. The next game we have here is Hitman Blood Money. It's a great PS2 title, but the 361 is that slightly a bit better because it's playing on a 360. But this game is so much fun. I love the mission where you're in that little town and you get the clown, and you can go to the FBI and put drugs inside of the donuts and kill them. It's such a fucking weird thing to do, but it's funny as fuck. Okay, on to the next game. The next game we have here is Tony Hawk American Wasteland. This is my favorite 360 Tony Hawk game. It's probably this, and I don't know if Proving Ground was released on 360, but I remember grabbing this, and definitely one of those games that we're going to get 100% achievements on. Next game we have here is Dead Rising. This one, I played the bejesus out of the remaster that recently came out. I hope they do too. I love Dead Rising 1. I love the atmosphere being locked in a mall. You got the timer and you're stressed the fuck out because you got to go and beat all those weird psychos. The one I think I remember is there's one that's a clown, and you got like this zombified clown that's in a roller coaster, I believe. And you got to defeat them and beat them in a certain time. You got to see how many people you can save. You get the camera. Great game. Highly recommend. Okay, next game we have here is Batman Arkham Asylum. This is my favorite Arkham game. This one. I like this over City and Night. I like that it was just more brought to... It was more of a closer and tighter game, if that makes sense, whereas Arkham Knight and Arkham City made it more of it's an open world. This was technically kind of like an open Arkham Asylum, which is why I loved this game so much. Anyway, on to the next game. Okay, next game we have here. If you're a heavy metal man and you're a metalhead and you don't have this in your collection, what are you doing? That is Brutal Legends! You get to play as Jack Black. I believe Ozzy Osbourne's in here. Lemmy is in here as well. I'm just reading on the back. You got Robert Hatfield. There's heaps of like heavy metal gods in this game, and Jack Black. It's basically a hack and slash game with, I believe you can do vehicles and stuff. We're definitely going to be playing this one on a stream. Okay, next game we have here. If I didn't talk about it, you guys would have been like, what the hell? And it's where this game started, and it's still going, 2013 to 2016. That's like over 10 years. That is GTA 5. There's not much I can say about this game. I love this game to death. I played the campaign to death. This is when I did play the GTA Online. I remember you got your apartments and stuff. I remember the first Christmas was snow, and you pick up the snowballs and you throw it at your friends. It was so much fun. And the monster truck, I believe you could get. And then obviously the campaign with Trevor, Michael, and Franklin. My favorite out of the three is probably Michael. I do love Trevor. I love how just wacky and shit he is. Like, you change from Michael to Trevor and he just be cross-dressing, throwing some guy off a fucking bridge. So much fun. And the thing about the original GTA 5 on the 360, it came out on 2 discs. And you had to have a 360 with a hard drive on it in order to play this one. You couldn't play it without that. And I remember it was buggy as shit if you had the fat model of the 360 and then the regular model, like the S was actually playing this better. It was such a weird time. All right, on to the next game. Okay, next game we have here is basically a DLC to GTA 4, and that is episodes of Liberty City. I like the Lost in the Dam better than Ballad of Gay and Tony. We definitely got to play through Grand Theft Auto games on stream. The other thing is you just got to turn the music off, which kind of takes a lot away from the game. Because I think the soundtrack is a lot of the game. Like, that's the Vice City vibe you get. But no. All right, on to the next game. Next game we have here is we have the episodes of Liberty City, and then we have Grand Theft Auto 4. Niko Bellic is probably my favorite Grand Theft Auto main character out of all the series. This and probably maybe CJ from San Andreas. Definitely my favorite characters. All right, on to the next game. The next game we have here is in great timing, I guess, because the second season's finished. I haven't watched it all, no spoilies. That's Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is my favorite Fallout out of the entire franchise. I really hope they remake this one and New Vegas. This one just has a really good place in my heart when I was just getting a 360, playing different games, and then I came across Fallout. I never played it before. I thought it was a really cool looking cover. That's what got us back in the day. It wasn't watching a video on YouTube. It was just like, that was the cover. And then we looked at the back, right? And we read the back and we're like, oh, okay. Like, you think about it. A lot of people who had consoles had only one Fallout game on a console, which wasn't even a Fallout game. This was the first proper Fallout game, but it was a 3D version of it. And I can't highly recommend this enough. Like, go and get it on PC as well. PC is probably the best place to play this with some mods and stuff to kind of bring it up to date. And just seeing Washington in ruins, it was just incredible. I can't recommend this one higher enough. Okay, we're down to a couple here. So the next one we have here is Red Dead Redemption, the original one on the 360. Up until a very, very, very long time, this is the only way you could play it, was on the 360 and the PS3. I recommend, if you're going to get Red Dead Redemption on the 360, go ahead and get the one with the bundle, as it's got the physical it's got the physical Undead Nightmare and the original Red Dead Redemption. It comes out on 2 separate discs. So yeah, Red Dead Redemption. All right, next one we got here is, we're starting to get down to the lower highs, and that is the original Call of Duty Black Ops. Like I was saying in my top 10, this was my first real deep dive into playing Call of Duty. I believe this was my first one that I actually owned. It wasn't just go to my friends or neighbors or a family friend that had Call of Duty. This was my first one, so that's why I got a little bit of nostalgia for, the original Nuketown. You've got the zombies, you've got the campaign with the numbers. The campaign's so much fun. I used to go back and find all those weird bugs and glitches, and the good thing about this one, I didn't have Xbox Live all the time, right? Because I had to go and purchase it. I used to do combat training. I think I played that thing more than I actually did play multiplayer, because I didn't have Xbox Live. But the good thing is you could set up bots and stuff and make them really hard, and you could act like you're going on Xbox Live. They weren't that crash hot AI, but it gave me that little bit of itch whilst I was waiting to get a Xbox Live, like maybe a 2-day trial. Sometimes I get 12 months if I was being really good. All right, on to the next game. All right, next game we have here is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. This one here, I remember I used to get this one from Video Easy all the time. Played on multiplayer, the campaign. Most of the original CODs, a lot of people used to absolutely love the campaigns. Most people actually buy COD just for the campaign, and then the multiplayer was a bonus. But it's not a real thing anymore because the campaigns suck. This is when they were golden. All right, on to the next game. Next game we have here is Halo Reach. Halo Reach, like I was saying in my top 10, this is another one that has, like a lot of the 360 has a lot of soft spots in my heart because I grew up with them. Halo Reach, the multiplayer was awesome. The custom games, I remember the campaign like it was yesterday, how you could customize your character and you can dress up as however much your armor you wanted. There was no, you need to go and get X amount of microtransactions so you can unlock the blue visor. No. You wanted the blue visor or the gold visor or the black one, or you wanted that really cool skull one that's like, it's got a skull and then it's like got a mask, and then you could get I remember there was like a fire head, there was a blue one, and I believe there was a normal one. I believe it was for Bungie Day, and if you pre-ordered this one, the Legendary Edition, you got it. But this, I played countless amount of hours with my mates, custom games on Forge. I believe there was Fat Boy, Cops and Robbers. You had the elephant. I remember Halo 3. It was Halo 3, but Halo 3 had the elephants in the sky, and you jump across them, and they'd fall out of the sky. It was so much fun. I've got to grab. I got this one here. We'll go over this one, and then I'm going to grab one more game. This one here is Halo 3 ODST. Halo 3 ODST, highly recommend. Best campaign out of, I believe it's one of the top 2 campaigns in Halo. Just because it's so deep and rich, and you're not a Spartan, you're an ODST. You're just a regular Marine that gets dropped into New Mombasa, and you got to fight your way out or fight your way to get to the mission. You get this weird looking thing. You think it's such a weird looking thing, and by the end of it, it's actually a real friendly, which teaches you a lot about the Halo series, where the Covenant is coming to kill humans, right? But not everybody in the Covenant wants to kill all the humans, or doesn't understand why they have to kill, or fear it. You don't have to fear it all the time. That's what ODST is about. It's about being dark and gritty, but also just because it's a dark and gritty looking thing doesn't mean it's an enemy. Doesn't mean it's not tortured by brutes. So, and the good thing about this one back in the day, as you can see, you got the Halo Reach beta, and it's a cool one. It's a 2-disc. This one came with the Halo 3 multiplayer, so you didn't have to go out and purchase all the DLC. All right, so we got one more game. One more game. You get a 360, you get this game. I don't care what you're doing, where you are, you get this game. I don't give a fuck about any of the other games. You get this game. There's one game you need to go out and buy. And that game, of course, is Halo 3. It's Halo 3. There still is, I believe, up until, I think it was maybe a month or two, I'm not sure it's still there, but there was an not an EB Games, there was a GameStop that had Halo 3 advertisements still on the side of the building. That tells you how good this game is. Like GameStop said, they won't replace it until something better comes out, and I don't know what something better has come out than this. This is Halo 3, like campaign, multiplayer, Forge. Obviously that one had firefight, this one didn't have firefight. You had all the skulls, and you finished the fight up until Halo 4 made the fight go longer and shitter, but this was like when the Forerunners were like mysterious and they were mystique, and you kind of had like subtle Easter eggs about where things were, or what were they, what did they do, why did they make the rings, and then Halo 4 was like, oh, we're just going to make it blah blah, the old technology looking weird fucking bullshit crap, right? This one is the last good, well, obviously Reach, but this is the last good, just kind of like bare bones Halo game. I like Halo Infinite, don't get me wrong. I think Halo Infinite's really cool. I like the multiplayer, I just wish it was better supported. That's why, and obviously it's the 25th anniversary of Halo, which makes me feel old. Anyway, that there is a stack of Xbox 360 games. Most of these games you can probably get for like 10, 20 bucks in the States. Right, in the States, some of these are like not even worth that much, which is what you want. You want consoles that don't have such expensive games. Like the N64 or GameCube in certain ways, where the games are more expensive than what's realistically worth it, you know? And one of the tips that I have, if a game's super expensive, especially like on the N64 or anything, go ahead and emulate it. Try it if you like it, and if you like it, go and buy it. Don't go and buy it and then try it and then hate it, right? I'm not a collector that goes ahead and buys games just stack them on shelves. I want to play my games, right? All these games eventually will be played on stream, or maybe we'll do a let's play, or maybe we'll go through like a stack of them, see which ones are my favorites. But that's the best thing about collecting. Sometimes, yes, you are going to buy games just to buy them. Let's be honest. If they're like $5 or a couple of bucks, you're going to put them in your cart and you're going to go, yeah, cool, cross that off my checklist. But buy games you want to play, right? Emulation is not a bad thing. 360 emulation's coming along, which is why I really hope Retro Achievements adds, or the emulator developer adds for the original Xbox and the 360 Retro Achievements. I know you can get these achievements on the 360 still, so that's another good thing is you can still, some of them multiplayers are available, some of them are dead now, but basically treat it like all the multiplayer games on the 360 are kind of dead. But the achievements are still there. You can still go out and unlock the achievements, which is really awesome. So I'm going to go over the 2 hardware revisions that you can get, or the 3 that you can get for the 360. I've only got 2. The third one's just a weird 360E model. I want to get it, but I want to get the blue one. I want to get the blue one, and then I want to get a white Xbox 360S because that looks cool. And then one of my big goals for my collection, I've got a couple. The biggest one that I'd love to do is I'd love to get the special edition Halo, all the Halo special edition consoles, like boxed, sealed. And then I want to get boxed unsealed so that way I can open them up and use them and keep the ones sealed for a while. All right, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go over the console revisions, and then I'm going to go over some tips when you're hunting for an Xbox 360. All right, I'll catch you guys on the other side. All right, so that's a couple of games that I've gone ahead and show you, or a stack of games you can go out and get for your 360. A lot of them are like dirt cheap. You can go out and buy for a couple of bucks, especially if you're in the States. The 360 is like dirt cheap. All right, so we're going to go over a couple of hardware revisions. Now, before we go over those revisions, I'm going to go ahead and go over the controller. Just some tips that I recommend you guys go ahead and look when you are buying the console. So this here is your Xbox 360 remote. There are multiple different revisions here. As you can see, I've got one in the background. So that's the Halo 3 ODST variant of the controller. Now, when you are looking for a 360 controller, go ahead, make sure the thumbsticks are good. You can buy replacement thumbsticks on like Temu and stuff. But go ahead, move them around. Do they feel stiff? Do they feel right? Does it feel like it's too much resistance? Go ahead and test the buttons. Press the buttons in. Do they feel sticky? Now, a lot of that stuff you can go ahead and take it apart and clean. The one thing I recommend you guys to do, pay attention to that jewel. That jewel, right? If it doesn't look right, don't buy it. Now, there are 2 types of jewels on the 360. There is a later revision silver that's like a basically instead of a matte finish, it's a glossy finish. So this is more like your stainless steel. The other one's like a shiny steel. Now, the other thing I do recommend you guys go ahead and look at is make sure it comes with the battery charger. I used to call this the clip, and then you put the ammo in, you reload it. So go ahead, check the battery container. Get a light. Check, is there any corrosion in there? Because a lot of people left batteries in their 360 controllers 10, 20 years ago and never remembered to take them out, so they're completely corroded. Go ahead and check on the springs at the bottom of it. Make sure there's no corrosion there. Make sure it's a legit controller too. So like I was saying, pay attention to the jewel, pay attention to the top part where it says Microsoft here. Pay attention to the little sticker that Microsoft used to put on their controllers. Pay attention to that. So yeah, that's the controller. So let's go ahead and go over some consoles. Okay, so the first console, well, this isn't the first console version, but it's the first, Okay, so that was the controller, so I thought I'd add that on. So this here is the first type, or first model of the 360. Now, there are hundreds of different versions of this type of 360. This one here is the Pro. This one's from 2009, so it's more reliable than the ones that are pre this console. Now, if you're going to collect the 360, these ones look the best. I think this is the best looking 360 because it's the most iconic looking 360, and you can change the faceplates, which is one of those things I definitely would want to look into. But with this type of 360, you got to realize it doesn't come with Wi-Fi. Some of them don't come with a HDMI port on the back. A lot of these did have red ring of death issues, so if you can't turn this one on, stay away from it. It's good to have as a collector, but the one I do recommend is the next version that I have here. Now, I believe the original model 360 was fixed in about 2009, so I might have gotten lucky. That was my first 360. I still have it. It's gone a bit yellow over time, but I love that thing to death. Now, this here is the 360 that I highly recommend you guys go out and collect for, and that there is the Xbox 360S. This one here is built like an absolute bullet. These things are really rare to fail. They don't have disk drive issues. They don't overheat. But I do recommend if you're going to buy a 360, take it apart, change out the thermal paste, which I'll show you in a later video. The good thing about this one, it has built-in Wi-Fi. You can go ahead, the hard drives are a bit different. So instead of being on the top, they're down below. Make sure you check these. Now, you can get these cases, like these hard drive cases, and you can put like a terabyte in there. You can put an SSD in there if you really wanted to. As the only thing that's proprietary is there's a little connector in here. That's the only proprietary thing. You can put a regular hard drive in there. You can just mod it and put it in there. The good thing about this one has like a boatload of USB ports. I don't know why they put so many on there. I guess people were playing like Guitar Hero and stuff back in the day. But no, this is one I recommend. I want to get this one in white. And then there's a really, really cool Gears of War model and a Halo 4 model. That's the hardware. I'm going to go ahead and go and do a little bit of a story about the 360 and explain why the 360 is such a great console to go and collect. All right, so I've gone ahead and shown you a stack of games. I've shown you the console. I've shown you the controller and what to look at when you go and collect. So the 360 is probably, other than the PS2, the 360 is the console that I grew up with as a teenager. So it had a little bit more kind of spirit behind it, spirit or heart for me. I think I was lucky because Xbox Live was on the original Xbox, but I believe it found its footing on the 360, especially when you had your party systems. You had things like gun games. You had search and destroy, where if you were playing on, I believe, Black Ops, it would take you out of your party and force you into the lobby chat system, so you couldn't cheat, and also so you could meet a bunch of random people. You know. That was what was so good about the 360. Everybody's 360 came with a headset, and we called them squeakers, or it would have been a squeaker. But I recommended, it was one of those things where you'd put the headset on, you'd put it on, and you'd be in Halo Reach, and you'd be talking to like random people. And some of those people, literally to this day, some of them are really good mates of mine. I still talk to a bunch of them, and some of them you don't talk to anymore. But it was like a really, really, really close-knit social media. Yes, there was a lot of shit said online. Don't get me wrong. Every single word you can think of was definitely said in an Xbox 360 lobby, especially in COD. But no, I remember the 360 I got was, I think it would have been 2009. Around about 2009, my parents, my dad was basically saying, do you want a PS3 or do you want a 360? Now, I had a choice between the 360 and the PS3. This is 2009, so it was a flip of the coin. I was still playing, I believe, my PS2 and Wii at the time. I had the Wii, but I was always complaining, like, I want a me console, not a Wii console. You know, I was such a kid and really wanted to play Halo. That's basically the thing of it. And I had been watching like unboxing after unboxing and review after review, and people playing Halo 3 and going into lines to get Halo, and I was like, oh, I want to play Halo so bad, you know. And then people at school had 360s, and I'm like, I really want to get one, so I did make the choice to get the 360. I got the Pro that came with Halo 3 ODST and Gears of War. What a bundle! Like, I remember I played Halo 3 ODST to death. Along with the multiplayer, and then I played Gears of War to death, especially with the freaking awesome chainsaw gun. I can't remember the name of it. Lancer, that's it, the Lancer. But no, that's the 360, you know, going through other games. You know, you got your wrestling game, SVR, the last SVR 2011, which I think is the best one. You know, the last real Halo game came out with Reach. COD was the best on the 360 PS3 era. I believe it died after it got off the 360 PS3 era. I believe up until this day it's not the same anymore. But no, those are just a handful of stories about my 360. days when I got it, and I was just over the moon. It's definitely one of those things that you're gonna see me going out to collect for. So anyway, this is me, Mr. Dan1268. Just remember, go ahead and like the video if you like the video. Go ahead and subscribe. Smash that notification bell so you know when the Dan's live. And I'll see you guys live tonight at 6 o'clock. We're going back. We're playing through Crash Bandicoot. And I'll see you then.